Welcome back to the channel. My name is Gordon Frayne and we are back with another weekly update for this week in Bitcoin and crypto for Friday, July 26th, 2024. As always, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to smash that thumbs up button below, hit that subscribe button as well, and if you want to get notified about similar videos, make sure to smash that bell notification icon. Don't forget to grab your free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin. It's going to be linked in the description below, and let's get into the video. It's been another exciting week in the Bitcoin and crypto markets overall. We are back up above a 67,406 price for Bitcoin. Ethereum sitting at about $3,247. A little bit of a dip this week in the aftermath of the Ethereum spot ETF starting to trade. Solana has flipped BNB. Solana is up to $181 and a market cap above 84.5 billion, while BNB slips down to that fifth place level at a price of 577 and just above an 84 billion overall market cap. If we look at the overall crypto market cap, we're currently sitting at about 2.41 trillion. Pretty much exactly where we were this time last week. We were sitting at 2.42 trillion. We had a little bit of a peak during the week up to about 2.48 trillion here on July 21st, dipping back down to about 2.31 trillion before jumping back up to about 2.41 here today, Friday, July 26th. If we look at the Bitcoin dominance, we're seeing a nice big green candle here on the weekly. We're back up above a 56.5% overall dominance for Bitcoin. Again, this was much lower this time last week. We were only sitting at about the just above a 55% level here this time last Friday. So a nice big green candle to the upside for Bitcoin dominance, and we're seeing lots of upwards price strength, not price strength, but upwards strength here for the Bitcoin dominance overall. Again, if we zoom out, we can see the fact that we've had a very, very strong uptrend since January of 2023, going all the way up to the present day here. This uptrend remains very much intact, not breaking out to the downside. We were seeing kind of this consolidation area, but this latest green candle really boding well for more continued Bitcoin dominance. Again, are we going to see an altcoin season with a breakdown in Bitcoin dominance anytime soon? Maybe we need to wait a couple more months for that to happen. As we jump over to the altcoin season index, we can see that for the past month, it is very much a Bitcoin strong month with a score of 24. We need to be back over this end of the scale in order for things to qualify as an altcoin month. Scrolling down to the top 50 performers over the past month, we can see that Bitcoin itself is now up 8.5% since a 1 month time frame. We've got some of the biggest gainers over the past month in the top 50 being Solana, up 29%. Solana performing very, very well over the past 30 days. Other big performers include some of the main meme coins like WIF and Bonk. We've also got XRP performing very well. Arweave, ICP, XLM, Tron, Near Protocol, and Maker all outperforming Bitcoin over the past 30-day period. Some of the other gainers from a kind of a 0 to 7% range include Injective, AVAX, VeChain, Doge, Kaspa, and Filecoin. And then down the very end of the table, we've got a few of the worst performers like Fetch, Uniswap, Arbitrum, the Graph token, HBAR, Toncoin, Atom, Matic Sui, Pepe, Ethereum as well in here. Ethereum down 6% on the month. Shiba Inu and Link down about 5.5% each. We've also got XMR, Litecoin, and DOT down about 1 to 2% each as well. So Bitcoin performing up 8.5% on the month. A number of altcoins outperforming it, Solana leading the charge. And as we can see, a decent chunk of the top 50 still in the red over the past month, haven't managed to recover quite as well as Bitcoin and some of the leading altcoins. Jumping over to the Dune Narratives Index, we can see that the best performing narratives month to date for July have actually been privacy, decentralized physical infrastructure, the Bitcoin narrative, wallets, options, and real world assets. So again, it's always worth keeping an eye on the different narratives and how they're performing month over month. Meme coins still have been the best performing narrative in 2024 thus far to date. But the assets that you're holding as part of your portfolio are going to be part of certain narratives, and those narratives will have their own kind of day in the sun as we move through the course of the bull cycle. So if you're holding privacy coins, for example, you would have had a very good month. If you've been holding meme coins since Q4 of 2023, you've had a very, very good 6 months. So it's always worth keeping an eye on these narratives, which narratives your assets are part of, and how you can continue to capitalize on all of that. The Bitcoin spot ETFs have been also continuing to accumulate decent amounts of Bitcoin over the course of the past week or so. If we jump over to the flows, we can see again some pretty strong inflows. July 25th for yesterday, we had a net inflow of 483 Bitcoin. Again, looking at the chart here, zooming in on the past week, we had a very big day on Monday with a 7.2 thousand worth of Bitcoin net inflows, a little bit of an outflow on Tuesday, followed by inflows on both Wednesday and Thursday. So the past 3 weeks, you can see here, have been very, very strong in terms of Bitcoin accumulation and purchases of Bitcoin from the US ETF spot issuers. Again, pretty strong uptrend that we've seen here since the beginning of July. The ETFs coming in, buying the dip when Bitcoin dipped to those levels around 53, 54K level a couple of weeks ago. And this uptrend is continuing to the upside and looking pretty healthy for now. So lots of positive sentiment with the ETFs continuing to purchase Bitcoin. Jumping over to our cycle low multiple, again, what we're looking at on the chart here is basically the price action of Bitcoin in the lead up to and aftermath of the 3 previous Bitcoin halvings, as well as the current halving or the current cycle or the current era marked with the red line here. But the interesting thing to note is the parabolic price action of Bitcoin in the 12 to 18 months after the halving event. And again, the reason we look at this particular chart is to just zoom out and remind ourselves of the big picture. We are looking, we're almost coming up on 100 days post halving event since April 2024, when we had the most recent halving event. And we can see the blue line here denoting price action of Bitcoin in the aftermath of the 2012 halving, the orange line showing price action of Bitcoin in the aftermath of the 2016 halving, and the green line showing us price action in the aftermath of the 2020 halving. So the red line here, day 0, marking the halving date here in the trajectory of each of these 4 different eras. Zooming in, we can see that the red line here shows us where we are at today and the price action of Bitcoin in these kind of 100 days post halving 2024. Again, we have seen the price action of Bitcoin put in new all-time high prices and market or cycle high prices in that kind of 12 to 18 month period post halving. This particular era was slightly different. We did see a new all-time high price, Bitcoin getting to that $73,000 level prior to the halving event in 2024, largely driven by a lot of the stuff happening with the ETF inflows and the amount of hype that surrounded it in the first couple of months of trading that began trading on January 10th, and we saw the actual Bitcoin halving event occurring in April 2024. So we had a decent amount of inflows of capital leading to new all-time high prices around this point right here prior to the halving event taking place on day 0 in the chart here. But again, just zooming out, thinking about the big picture and where we could be going over the course of the next 12 to 18 months or so in terms of parabolic price moves to the upside. Next up, we're going to look at the real world assets dashboard. Again, real world assets continues to be one of the biggest narratives that many of the actual institutions are pushing. We know BlackRock launched their tokenized fund on Ethereum earlier this year. That particular fund is the BUIDL fund that you see in the gold orange color on the top of the chart here. We can see that fund has grown from $50 million all the way up above $527 million of tokenized assets on Ethereum from BlackRock specifically in their BUIDL fund, but seeing huge amounts of tokenized treasuries here happening across the board with a number of different institutions, currently up 0.07% on the week, with about $1.91 billion worth of tokenized treasuries on chain. And if we look at that breakdown by network, we can see that most of that is happening on Ethereum, with Stellar, Solana, Mantle, and a handful of smaller layer 2s like Arbitrum and Polygon making up some of the chains and networks that are actually supporting that tokenization. Lots of stuff happening with real world assets. Again, stable coins. We're seeing continued increases in the amount of stable coins on chain. 2024 has been a very good year so far for the amount of stable coin printing that we've been seeing. Again, all of these stable coins being backed by US dollars or US treasuries by the likes of Circle and Tether, who make up the largest portion of this stablecoin tokenization on chain. Again, a breakdown showing us where that is happening in terms of networks. We've got Ethereum, Tron, Binance, Solana, and Base making up a decent amount of the action happening for stablecoins on chain. So lots of exciting stuff happening with real world assets. We're seeing continuous increases week over week, month over month, and it's worth keeping an eye on everything happening in this space as more capital continues to flow in and more assets begin to be tokenized on chain. And finally, we're just jumping over here to the Artemis terminal, seeing what's been happening on chain over the past week or so. Again, in terms of daily active addresses, we're seeing Solana and Near Protocol really leading the charge here in the terms of the amount of daily active addresses and activity happening on chain here. Solana hitting upwards of 2.4 billion daily active addresses here just 3 days ago, followed by Near Protocol. Polygon is in here in the purple with a lot of active addresses as well. Ethereum, Sui, Toncoin, Aptos, and Avalanche making up the next few on the list here. However, in terms of actual daily transactions, Solana is blowing everyone out of the water once again. Over 42 million transactions per day on average here, with the next closest being Near Protocol, then Polygon, Aptos, Sui, Ethereum, and Ton. As we scroll down here, TVL, Ethereum definitely leading the charge here. We know that over 45% of everything happening in DeFi is locked in terms of total value locked on Ethereum. Solana in second place with about 5 billion, followed by Avalanche, Polygon, Ton, Sui, Aptos. DEX trading volumes, once again, Solana mostly leading the way here, with Ethereum outperforming Solana on certain days over the past week or so as well. But lots of exciting stuff happening on both Ethereum and Solana when it comes to the decentralized exchange space. And then finally, fees and revenue, Ethereum and Solana are once again the leaders here by a long way, with about 3.4 million per day for Solana, about 2 million per day for Ethereum is leading the charge with about 3.1 million per day. Solana in second with about 2.2 or 2.1 million per day. And then again, in terms of revenue, we can see that Ethereum and Solana definitely leading the charge once again. So again, it's always worth keeping an eye on the actual on-chain metrics and what's happening with the actual daily active addresses, daily transactions, and everything going on in the ecosystem from an on-chain perspective. So that has been the week in Bitcoin and crypto. Again, we're back up above 67,000 for Bitcoin. Ethereum, kind of similar to Bitcoin, has seen a little bit of a drop off in price over the past 7 days in the immediate aftermath of the Ethereum ETFs going live. However, we did see Bitcoin begin to pump a couple of weeks after the ETFs began trading. There's always going to be this kind of sell the news event around it. So we're kind of seeing that play out in real time, with Ethereum being down 7% on the week. But I think medium to long term, we're going to see lots of positive capital inflows, and there will be lots of success surrounding the Ethereum ETF, in my opinion, in the medium to long term. As always, if you enjoyed the content, please make sure to smash that thumbs up button below. Hit that subscribe button as well. And if you want to get notified about future videos, make sure to smash that bell notification icon. Once again, don't forget to grab your free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin. It's going to be linked in the description below. It is my gift to you. Grab it while it's free. And as always, we'll catch you in the next one.